Example number 6. Two groups of friends took a canyon trip down Big Debris Creek. The first group left at 12 noon. 1/2 hour later, the second group left the same location, paddling at an average speed that was 0.75 miles per hour faster than the first group. At 2:30 p.m., the second group catch up the first group. How fast was each group paddling? If we read the word problems and we read it one time and fast, we cannot understand anything. So it's better than we go back and read like 10 times. And we write down the number for each sentence. Okay, we will begin with the table. And the first column, we will put down the name. Second one will be rate, and then time, and then the distance. So we have the formula for the motion is rate multiplied the time equal to the distance. In this problem, talking about that two groups of friends, talking about the first group, and then they're talking about the second group. So for the name, I will put the first group in here, and the second group in the name column. Now I will jump to the question. In the question, they asked me to answer how fast was each group. If they ask us how long, they ask us about the time. How far means the distance. How fast means they ask us to answer for the rate. So I will put in the answer is the rate for the first group and rate for the second group. So this is what I have to answer the question. So whatever we don't know, we will assign the variable. Which one should be our variable? Rate for the first group or rate for the second group? Then we read the problem one more time, and let's pay attention to this sentence. The second group left the same location, paddling at an average speed that was 0.75 miles per hour faster than the first group. What does it mean by 0.75 miles per hour in this case? Look at the unit, mile per hour. This is talking about the rate. It's talking about the speed. And 0.75 does not mean the speed of the first group, does not mean the speed of the second group. It means one group faster than the other, 0.75. So you read the sentence, both of them, the first group and the second group rate, we do not know. Which one we know the least information about is the one that we assign the variable. So one more time, they said that the second group left the same location, paddling at an average speed that was 0.75 miles per hour faster than the first group. So the first group is the one that we know the least information about. So we will assign X for the rate of the first group. The second group is 0.75 more and adding to the X. So I'm going to put them in the rate, under the rate in the table. So the first group is the X, and the second group is X plus 0.75. We got the rate, we need to have the time, then rate times the time equal the distance. So we need to find out the time. So I have the first group again and second group again. Now we pay attention to the time. So let's highlight, this is time. They're talking about 2:30 and they're talking about 1/2 hour later. The first group left at 12 noon. So to 12 p.m. And then 1/2 hour later. So 1/2 hour later, that means we have 12:30 p.m. for the second group. They catch up each other at 2:30. At 2:30 p.m., the second group catch up the first group. So they travel until 2:30 and they meet each other. Now look at the distance that they first left the same location and meet each other. How long does it take for the first group? Is that take 2.5 hours? And for the second group, does it take 2 hours? We're going to put down the time for this. So 2.5 and 2. Now we got the formula rate times the time is equal to the distance. So we get 2.5x and 2 parentheses x plus 0.75. So now let's imagine one more time. This is the starting point. They left at the same location. And then they meet each other. Of course, it have to be the same location where they meet. So the distance have to be equal for both of them. So the distance for the first group equal the distance for the second group. Now we will open the parentheses. And then solve for x. So we will minus 2x both sides. Divide both sides by 0.5. Then x equal to 3. Do we remember that x was what? In the answer box, we assign x is the rate for the first group. So the rate for the first group is 3 miles per hour. If they travel for 2.5 hours, then the distance that the first group will make is 3 times 2.5. That would be 7.5 miles. Now let's calculate the second group. The second group travel faster 0.75 miles per hour. So that would be 3 plus 0.75 miles per hour. So 3.75. And the time is 2. So if we multiply this number together, we can see that 7.5 miles is the second group distance. So both of them having the same distance, that means they must meet each other.